Log on to WapCar.my for the latest reviews, comparisons, and car prices to help you find your next perfect car. And don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Hello everybody, it's Adrian for WapCar.my and I'm all about the details. Today I have with me the Renault Koleos. This is the range-topping Koleos Signature priced at 183,000 ringgit. Now the Koleos to me is a little bit like a forgotten SUV because at this price point, compared to its class rivals such as the Volkswagen Tiguan, Peugeot 3008, CX-5, CR-V, the Koleos just doesn't seem so attractive on paper. But in today's video, I'm going to show you what's so appealing with the Koleos to me. The biggest selling point of the Koleos has got to be its exterior design. Just look at how bold and extravagant it looks. From the front grille to the LED headlamps with the DRLs that runs into the bumper. At night, this thing just looks so attractive, so mesmerizing. And over to the side, here we have an unnecessarily complicated piece of engineering. There's a chrome strip that separates the front fender. Why? The French says it looks good. So there you have it. Further down there, you get 19-inch alloys, which I think is the right size for the Koleos because it fills up the arches just nice. Let's go to the back. Here again, you have this very unique Renault tail lamp clusters. You just will not mistaken this Koleos for anything else other than a Renault. The Koleos also comes with powered tailgate with the hands-free operation function, and it opens up to 542 liters of boot space. However, I must point out that the false boot floor down here is completely unusable because it's used up by the spare wheel. The cabin of the Koleos is inherently French. There are a lot of things going on. At the same time, there are a lot of things that doesn't make sense. So for example, this wood trim piece here. I mean, Renault, what's up with this? It doesn't tie in with the rest of the cabin, which gets plastic, as well as a piano black, as well as brown leather. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right in this cabin. But other than that, the touch points in here are, as expected from a European marque, soft touch leathers here and there. Features in here, also expected from a European marque. LCD instrument cluster, which you get to change through the different types of display, as well as show different types of driving information. Very well executed. Over to the center, 8.7-inch portrait-style touchscreen infotainment system, which supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, panoramic sunroof, as well as an 8-speaker 3D Alchemist surround sound system that sounds brilliant. Allow me to draw attention to what I think is the biggest flaw of this cabin of the Koleos, which is this touchscreen infotainment system. The portrait style is nice and all that, but the UI is so unuser-friendly. It's just very difficult to use. I've been sitting here for half a day trying to figure out what button does what, how do I change the menus, how do I switch over the different widgets and icons, and immediately I just forgotten how to use it. It's just so difficult to use. However, the flip side is this infotainment system has one of the best Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration that I've seen in a car. So why do I say that is because if you remember the Volvo, which also has a portrait style screen, whenever you're plugged it into your phone, the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto shows a landscape and it splits the screen into half. So that I feel it's a little bit wasted of the whole real estate. In the Koleos, however, I'm plugging it into Apple CarPlay. It uses the whole real estate of the screen and it just feels like I'm using an iPad Air or something. It's brilliant, and this fixes the biggest problem that I have with the infotainment system. So whenever I get into the Koleos, I'll just plug into my phone, Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and use the climate controls. That's it, and I don't fiddle with anything else. Time for the big bottle test. Nope, it doesn't fit on the side door bins. nor does it fit into the center console. However, the center armrest has quite a large storage space, so that's nice. Some other cool features in the Koleos is you get a chilled center cup holders, which you can operate on or off it via a button down here. Next up is this sliding visor. Just get the perfect angle to block the sun. Fantastic. Into the back seats of the Koleos, and I have the front seats adjusted to my usual driving position, and I'm 175 cm tall. This is perhaps the largest rear legroom that I've tested on WapCar. 4 tennis balls of space. What? Space in the footwell is aplenty. Headroom, just 1.5 because of this sunroof that I have. Other amenities in here include rear air vents, 2 USB charging port, a 12-foot socket, and something that I've never seen in any other cars, which is a aux jack. A real aux jack which you can connect your phone and play music through the infotainment system. This is pretty cool for your rear passengers. 2 back pockets with netting, center armrest with 2 cup holders, as well as reclinable rear seats. Right, so we're now driving the Renault Koleos, and some of you may know that the Koleos is actually sharing the same platform and powertrain option as the Nissan X-Trail 2.5. Many of you may think that the Koleos is just a rebadged, dressed up version of the X-Trail, but I would say that would be discrediting Renault's effort with the Koleos. You see, Renault has put in quite a fair bit of effort to make sure that the Koleos drives and feels differently compared to the X-Trail, and it's quite apparent. And a lot of that has to do with the design. So dimensions wise, the Koleos is actually shorter in length compared to the X-Trail, but has a wider body and sits a little bit lower to the ground. This means that the aerodynamics and the profile of the car just has to be changed, and it's fundamentally different compared to the X-Trail. In terms of NVH levels, the Koleos is significantly quieter, more refined compared to the X-Trail, and that has a lot to do with the better door seams as well as the more aerodynamic design compared to the X-Trail. Now, from where I'm seated, the Koleos is very obviously a few leagues more refined compared to the X-Trail. Right now I'm cruising. In terms of the wind noise suppression, the tire road noise suppression, it's just a more refined car compared to the X-Trail, and that is a fact. In terms of ride quality, the Koleos, I feel it's a cut above the X-Trail. When going over undulations, bumps and humps and all sorts of stuff, it irons out these kind of uneven roads very gracefully. The suspension doesn't get any kind of shock or vibrations coming into the cabin, so you just feel very well cocooned. And remember, the Koleos is riding on 19-inch alloys. And despite that ride pliancy, handling of the Koleos is reasonably planted. Let's say you're taking a bend, it stays reasonably planted, as you would expect from an SUV. And I feel this is the kind of what people like to describe it as continental ride quality. It's very firm, very solid, yet very comfortable. In terms of powertrain, the Koleos gets the 2.5-litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol engine paired to a CVT, exactly what you get in the Nissan X-Trail. It makes the same amount of horsepower, 171 horsepower, and 262 Nm of torque. Unfortunately, in the Koleos, it's only front-wheel drive. So yeah, the powertrain is good enough to get the job done. You know, it has decent amount of power, decent amount of pulling power. In-gear acceleration is alright, especially when you're cruising on a highway and you need to overtake. It's alright, the powertrain is alright. And compared to the X-Trail, let's say you floor it and you reach a high RPM, the engine noise as well as the CVT whine is not as apparent. So again, highlights and emphasizes the insulation, the cabin insulation of this Koleos. But the Koleos as a package feels like a very average, mundane SUV. Don't get me wrong, the exterior looks is very handsome, very bold, I love it. But the rest of the car, on paper performance, specifications, safety equipment, it's rather meh. However, there's this one plan that spices things up for the Renault Koleos, which is the Renault Subscription. So what exactly is Renault Subscription? Well, if you haven't heard of subscribing car subscription before, essentially you pay a monthly fee, a fixed monthly fee, and you're able to drive, for example, the Koleos. You're able to drive the car home. And contrary to normal hire purchase where you have to deal with down payment, depreciation, servicing, road tax, insurance and all that stuff, with Renault Subscription plan, none of those. Essentially, you walk into a Renault showroom, you don't have to put in down payment, you don't have to take a loan, nothing like that. You simply just sign the subscription plan, pay a monthly fee, and you get to drive home the car. Yes, it's that straightforward. And Renault offers two types of their subscription plan. The first one is the fixed plan, which, as the name suggests, you pay a fixed monthly fee, you get that specific car. It's available for the Renault Captur, Koleos, as well as the Renault Megane R.S. The other one, which I'm a lot more intrigued by, is the Renault Switch plan. As the name suggests, the Switch plan is slightly more expensive compared to the fixed plan. You pay a slightly more monthly repayment. But the difference here is that in the fixed plan, you will have to commit to either 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years of tenure. You lock in that period. Whereas the Switch plan, you're able to cancel anytime. So for example, let's say you use the car for 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6 months, and you decided to, okay, I've had enough, I don't need the car anymore, I'm going to cancel. Okay, no questions asked, you just cancel the plan. Very straightforward. But the second part or advantage of the Switch plan is that, for example, let's say you sign up for the Switch plan for the Renault Koleos, which costs 3,199 ringgit per month. You're able to switch into other cars in the Renault stable, such as the Renault Captur, as well as the Megane R.S. Woo! 1.8 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine pushing out 280 horsepower and 390 Newton meters of torque. This car also comes with 4-wheel steering, planted through the bends. Planted through the bends. Whew. And this one equipped with the 6-speed dual clutch transmission. It makes that kind of noise during upshifts. Oh, intoxicating. Okay, let me just dial it down a few notches and talk to you guys about this Renault subscription plan. Oh, wow, what a car. Okay, back to the Renault subscription plan. So yes, if you subscribe to a Renault Koleos, you're paying 3,199 ringgit a year with the Switch plan. Within 1 year, you are able to enjoy and drive the Megane R.S for up to a maximum of 2 weeks, whereas the Captur up to a maximum of 2 months in a year. Now you might think that you're just having it for 2 weeks, might as well just buy the car and all that. Well, let me put it to you this way. The Megane R.S costs close to 300,000 ringgit. And the Megane R.S sold in Malaysia comes with the Cup chassis. Honestly speaking, with the bucket seats, the Cup chassis and all that, this is not a daily driver. No, this is not daily driver friendly. Everything is very stiff, it's very, you feel everything, you're very connected to the road. Yes, that's true, but you just feel everything. And I can't imagine owning this or daily driving this for your rest of your life. I mean, I just have the car for a couple of days and it's now hurting my back. So to sum it up, the Renault Koleos may not seem like a very attractive SUV on paper, given at its price point and the features it has. But once you factor in the Renault subscription plan into the equation, immediately the deal becomes a little bit more enticing. With the Renault Switch plan, you're able to drive a Koleos and have the option to add the Renault Captur or this Renault Megane R.S into your garage for a short period of time. And what's the best thing about Renault subscription plan? You don't have to worry about depreciation, down payment, insurance, road tax, service, not even wear and tear. Why not? As always, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this. And let us know in the comment section below, would you subscribe to a car? Now if you excuse me, I need to go and see the chiropractor. Log on to WapCar.my for the latest reviews, comparisons, and virtual reality showroom to help you decide on your next perfect car.